Well, good morning, everyone. And how are you? Once again, welcome to another live this morning. We thank you for coming on, and let me just see here if I can see what's happening here on my second device here. If we're getting the notifications. Yep. There we go. Rosa, Linda, right at the top. Andrea, both of you from Niagara Falls. Brahim, you're there, bud. Good to see you. Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia, good morning to you. And Serpa from Dowling, watching this morning, good morning to you. Frida, how are you? And Fran from Orangeville. See, Fran, I didn't miss you today. And let's see here. Rosa Morial. How are you, Rosa? Suli Petawawa. Good morning. Gloria. New York. Bonnie, Little Britain. Good morning. Anne, St. Catharines. How are you? Say hi to Peter. Bruno. Janine. How are you? Eileen, Brampton. Good morning. Nick, there you are from our staff. Good morning. Patricia. Good morning to you. And let's see here. Shelley, Sherwood Park, Alberta. Marla, Oregon. And Marlene, good morning. Carol, how are you? Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. We love you guys out in Newfoundland. Dave, Muskoka, Lee's, right in my backyard in Sudbury here. How are you? Keith, good morning to you. Davina, first time I've seen that name. How are you, Davina? Nice to have you on. Kevin, I didn't miss you, did I? Sorry about that, bud. Kevin the mayor, I missed him. Beverly, John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois. Annette, how are you? And Linda, St. Jude, Quebec. Bonjour, Linda. Francis from Bonn. Kitty from Kelowna, how are you? Bright and early. Jean, how are you? Michelle, how are you? Laurie, Elaine, Mara, Lorraine, backyard in Sudbury. Good morning. We love Sudbury, you know that, eh? Sandy, Deb, friend from Timmins, Teresa, Dunedin, Florida. How are you? Marianne, Nativity, good morning to you. Arlene, Kathy, Sandy, couple more guys. Catherine from Springdale, Newfoundland. Jean from Peterborough, good morning to you. Cecilia, saying good morning to Kevin. Oh, what about me? Luella, West Tennessee. Karen, Sue St. Marie. Dennis, Cindy, how are you? Paula, I'll say hello to Doc McEwen. I don't know if she's there, but I never see her name, or rarely. Judy, John, I missed you. And Dave, good morning. Leela, Milika, I didn't mean to miss you, Milika. Rhoda from Labrador. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's Q&A Friday, so let's get to the questions this morning. Just open them up here. Crystal is asking a question about oil of oregano. And Crystal, I think you misquoted me, okay? Or misunderstood what I said, okay? Because you're asking me last week on your live that oil of oregano is a percentage stronger than antibiotics. Look, I don't think I said that. What I did say about oil of oregano and what I have been saying about oil of oregano for 40 years, at least. You know what I've been saying about oil of oregano? It's a natural antibiotic. And when it comes to nature and antibiotics, in my opinion, oil of oregano is the most powerful of all the natural antibiotics, okay? So I don't think I said it was more powerful than an antibiotic that you would get by prescription, okay? I didn't say that. As a matter of fact, I've said this 1,000 times on this program. If you need an antibiotic by prescription and you have a raging infection, by all means, you got to do it. Okay? What I say is when you're doing it, make sure you're renewing and replacing your friendly bacteria because they get wiped out. With oil of oregano, when you take it, and I take it every day, guys, because people have this idea, and and it's a misunderstood idea, that if you take oil of oregano, it's an antibiotic, therefore don't take it all the time because you're going to wipe. It doesn't know the difference between your good bacteria and your bad bacteria. That's not true. It's God's gift to us in an antibiotic, natural. And it only kills the bad guys. And I'll give you an example, okay? And I think I said this. You know what is known as an antifungal and nature's antibiotic? Garlic, right? Garlic. But I got to tell you, garlic don't kill your it might kill your breath. But it don't kill your friendly bacteria. Okay? It's nature. It's natural. Now, antibiotics that you would get by prescription, and again, the greatest discovery of the 20th century in medicine was antibiotics. Insulin was another one, but antibiotics, hey, give credit where credit is due. And they saved millions of people's lives. The problem is it's a double-edged sword. And remember this about oil of oregano. It's not only an antibiotic, natural. It is an antiparasitic. Okay? It is an antifungal. It's an antiviral. So it's all packaged in one, oil of oregano. And I've compared, because people have used silver, for example, as an antibiotic. It is. Okay? But in my practice, I compared oil of oregano to all the others in nature antibiotics. It's the best. It's the best. I had a lot of clinical experience with it. It's the best. Okay? It's also an antioxidant. And again, when I had my radio show in Northern Ontario, the sales of oil of oregano, the salespeople for oil of oregano, different companies made it, but they tell me, well, the sales here are more here than anywhere else in Canada. Well, I talked about it all the time. Okay? So oil of oregano, you owe me money. No, because clinically I used it and it was very good. So Crystal, if I made a mistake and said some kind of percentage better than a prescription of antibiotics, you can discount that, because if I made that mistake, I'm sorry, because I didn't mean to say that. I would never say that. Okay? So I think it's misquoted, but maybe I made a mistake. I'm a senior. If I made that mistake, I'll pull out my senior card and say I misspoke, which isn't going to be it ain't the first and it ain't going to be the last. Okay? But anyway, okay, thank you. Crystal, for that question. Carrie from Nebraska. On the probiotic, can one open it up and sniff it into the nasal passages? Carrie, you heard that right. Now, don't do it out in public because they'll think you're sniffing cocaine. Okay? I've actually done it many a times personally. Open up a capsule. You don't need the whole capsule, believe you me. Okay? Because you got billions of bacteria there. And with a sinus infection or bad sinusitis or whatever, get a straw and sniff the antibiotic into your sinuses. You can actually put a little bit of oil of oregano with it if you want and sniff it in. But like I said, don't do it in public because people are going to think, hey, this person's doing cocaine. And believe me, probiotics won't get you high like cocaine. But you're delivering the friendly bacteria, the microbiome into the sinuses. I found it to be very effective. I had hundreds and hundreds of patients try it when I was in practice, and they found it to be effective. Okay, so yeah, you can do that, Carrie. Okay, you can do that. Thanks for the question. Lisa, can you tell me if you're probiotic complex, and it better be in soon, because I'm getting a migraine. We're having trouble with one of the strains. Oh, it takes so long for strains, the ones that we want. And I know you folks rely on, look, there's no probiotic even close to it. I'm sorry. They're just not. Okay? And it's a finicky process because it takes 8 weeks to culture every strain. And that's why the probiotic is so effective, because of that. And we just can't compromise. And anyway, I'm hoping today or anyway that it's back. Okay, anyway. Lisa's asking the question. It's a good question. Is it safe for people with histamine intolerance? Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why, Lisa. Okay? Histamine, okay? Histamine is your body's natural, it's a substance your body makes, okay? At the sign of something foreign, okay? So, for example, allergies, okay? You have something foreign coming in, okay? Ragweed, hay fever, whatever it is. You got allergies to something, okay? Your body recognizes that. And your mast cells, M-A-S-T, okay? They're white blood cells. They release histamine, okay? And that is to expel the antigen, to expel the foreign substance that your body says, hey, I don't want that in here. Get rid of it. Okay? So, you're allergic to cats. And yet you love your cat. And you're allergic to it. Your body's producing histamine. So when you take, let's say, Claritin, that is a antihistamine. Okay? It's an antihistamine. It blocks your body's reaction to something foreign. But let me bring it a step back now. Especially in your gut. When something comes in, okay, and part of the process is your microbiome. It sort of scans what's coming in. You know, it's like at the grocery store and you use the self checkout and there's a scanner there and you got a barcode, right? On every product, you got a barcode and you scan it, right? Well, your body does that. Isn't that amazing? Everything that comes into your body scans it. And if there's something that your body doesn't like, your body produces, well, among other things, histamine, but cytokines and whatever. And, you know, if you're sneezing, well, that's your body's histamine that's doing that. You're coughing, body's histamine that does that. Watery eyes, your body's trying to get rid of stuff. Mucus, you're producing more of it. That's histamine. When your body scans something that it doesn't like. Now, why doesn't it like certain things? You got to go a step deeper now. Okay? You got to go a step deeper. Because what causes something that doesn't bother me that will bother you? Okay? What causes that? Well, it's your gut. It's the microbiome. So when you talk about, or someone asks a question about histamine intolerance, it means you really have an autoimmune condition. It may not be diagnosed like that, but that's the problem. Your scanner is not working properly. And it's an autoimmune thing. Probiotics help that. And I've read so much nonsense about histamine intolerance. It gives me a migraine. Okay? You know, here's histamine foods that make you produce more histamine. That's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's not the food. It's you. It's not the food. Dairy, Dr. Martin. I heard this a million times. Dairy. It's bad. Well, look at all the people that got a lactose intolerance. Well, it's not the lactose. It's you. It's not the lactose. It's you. Now, they've denatured milk, okay? They heat it up to 1200 degrees, and it's pasteurized. And good luck trying not to get pasteurized, okay? In North America. Good luck with that, okay? You got a cow in the backyard? Good, okay, great, good for you. Most people don't. But you know what I'm saying here? Okay? It's not the dairy, per se. Okay? Don't scream at me. Okay? I'm making a point. It's you. That's histamine intolerance. It's you. Your scanner. It's super hyper sensitive. So, the best way to fix a scanner inside of you is probiotics. Okay? Broad spectrum probiotics. I'm telling you. So, listen, I get asked that question a lot. I like answering it because a lot of people are confused. They're confused. Now, listen. In the meantime, if certain foods bother you, you know, I had thousands of patients over the years. Doc, I can't eat eggs. It's not the egg. Don't blame eggs. I love eggs. And they love me. But you, it's you. You know what I'm saying? It's not the egg. It's you. That's misfiring, mislabeling. Oh, okay. it's releasing histamine, and you might have a histamine intolerance. It's just another word for you have autoimmune issue, and most of it is in your gut. Okay? Fix that. Okay. Thanks for the question. I got on a little diatribe there this morning, but I like questions because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I want you in the best possible way to get to understand your own body. Everybody's different. Stick your thumb up. We all got a different fingerprint. Okay? All of us. There's no identical. We're unique. And some of us are weird. People say that about me. Dr. Martin, you're weird. Yeah, I know. Okay. Lori, what are your thoughts on Botox for TMG, which is your jaw, temporal mandibular joint? Ugh. TMG. I don't know. I used to be very good in practice. I'd manipulate that joint. I was really good at it. And it fixed that, a lot of problems, people with TMJ. Botox, I've seen it, okay? To me, it's temporary. It doesn't fix the issue. Can be some side effects to it. I'm not against it. You know, weigh the risk of Botox. I've seen Botox with migraines and, Botox to get rid of your frowns, the Botox, to make anti-aging. And look, you got to, there's side effects to it, and you got to sort of weigh that out, Lori. That's what I would say, Is it 100% effective? Not always. So I don't know. That's sort of a half answer. Marilyn, I had a lead whole blood test done, and your lead was high in the body. What should I do for this? Number one thing, Marilyn. Numero uno. Empty your liver. If you have high levels of lead, and you wouldn't be alone, I used to test this in my office all the time. Okay? Lead, cadmium, mercury. If you have high levels of lead, you need to detox. Your liver is the key. Your liver is the key, not your bowel. Your liver. A lot of people, I'm gonna do a detox, and they clean the bowel. Well, that don't clean your liver. And your liver is what filters your blood. 24 hours a day. Blood goes through the liver, and your liver, and we talked about this yesterday, when it's empty, it's producing a lot of glutathione. What is glutathione? Velcro will attach itself to lead. Now, let me say another thing. How does lead get in your body too? One of the ways it gets transported into the bloodstream through leaky gut is by the Trojan horse, yeast, fungus, candida. It carries lead into the body and into the tissue. Okay? So don't feed the bears. Don't feed yeast, because you're feeding the beast that carries heavy metals. Keep your liver clean. Don't eat sugar. I would do the reset to clean the liver, to detox the body. It's so good if you do that. Okay? Now, I love probiotics again, because especially with heavy metals, you get L. reuteri, L. rhamnosus. Those are two they're antifungal, and therefore they're very anti-heavy metals. Okay? Detox that way. And I like that. Okay? Curcumin is a detoxer. It helps because it helps the liver produce glutathione. So does Navitol. Navitol helps your body increase its glutathione levels, the pine bark extract. Okay? Drink water. Why? Because you got to keep that, you got to filter those kidneys. You got to filter the kidneys because eventually that blood gets down into your kidneys and you want to filter all of it out. And only water is water. Drink water. Okay? Thank you for the question, Marilyn. I appreciate it. Suzanne. Why do most women gain weight after 50? And why do others lose weight? I'm delaying the answer because it's women. Okay. Suzanne. Women. They're beautiful. Okay? Beautiful. But, okay? But, they're complicated. Why? Because they have hormones. And when you get around 50, they can really get messed up. Okay? Complicated. Men, uncomplicated. There isn't a man in the world that's complicated. We're from another planet. You know, men, everything's simple. Why? We don't have ovaries. That's why. Men, you know, men are big babies. But women, precious, but complicated. Hormones become hormones. That's why most women gain weight, okay? Very few lose weight without trying. And I know women, tens of thousands over the years, they just looked at food and gained weight. They didn't even have to consume it. They just looked, okay? Dr. Martin. I'd get him in the office. We had a weight loss clinic. Okay? Dr. Martin, I'm gonna kill my husband. Why? Well, he lost weight. We're eating the same things, and I didn't lose a pound. I'm gonna kill you and him. I'm not kidding you. It's ovaries. Because when estrogen and progesterone are not equal, it slows the thyroid to a crawl. And your thyroid is your metabolism. It slows to a crawl. Okay. That's Suzanne. Thank you, Suzanne. Pamela. As a kid, we would have a teaspoon of liquid cod liver oil. I can still taste it in my mouth right as you ask the question, Pamela. Cod liver oil. I got cod liver oil as a kid. It's a wonderful oil. Why did they give it to you? Not for the omega-3. They didn't know much about that in those days. Okay? Why did they give you cod liver oil? Okay? For the vitamin D and the vitamin A. Okay? They give you cod liver oil for that. It was good for you. And they knew the vitamin D, they generally gave it for a condition called rickets, the bowing of the legs. And they found out that's a vitamin D deficiency, and they gave cod liver oil. They should have been giving cod liver oil out during the pandemic because of its content of vitamin A and D. Now, it's not got a lot of D in it, but it's got some, and it's a great oil. But don't take it for omega-3 because it doesn't have it's got a little bit of DHA, but not a lot of it. Okay? Listen, I love cod liver oil. You can give it to kids. It's very good. You can take it yourself. Excellent. Very good source of vitamin A. Not enough vitamin D in there for what we know about vitamin D and its levels today. But I love it. It's a great oil, but it's not a high DHA oil. It's got some, but not a lot. Okay? Did I answer your question? Okay, let me see. And that was Pamela. Thanks for the question, Pamela. Lise is asking the question, how can I get to the root and fix rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia? Well, I've done many programs on this. One thing I do recommend, go to martinclinic.com, go to our podcast at the Doctor Is In podcast, or you can go right to the Doctor Is In podcast on your smart device and scroll down and see where I've talked about fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis. I'll tell you what, no exceptions to this. Autoimmune. Leaky gut. Guaranteed. Okay? Guaranteed. They got leaky gut. And the body turns on itself. That's what rheumatoid arthritis is. The body turns on itself. Remember the scanner? The scanner ain't working properly. Where's the scanner? Inside. In the gut. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disorder, and autoimmune starts with leaky gut. I think, okay, and I've talked about this many a time, it's the invasion of the Trojan horse. Fungal. Leaky gut, leaky joints. Okay? And fibromyalgia can be even more than joints, muscle. And very inflammatory. But it's autoimmune too, guys. I've written books about it. Let me see if I can find you one real quickly here. This is in French. But I got them. I have the English one here. Okay? Chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. I go through all of it. Leaky gut. The energy robbers and the fatigue cure. I wrote that book years ago, and I talked about there to all of the conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. Leaky gut, man. Leaky gut, autoimmune. Thank you for the question, Lise. Let me just see here. Karma. An 18-year-old girl I know is diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I've seen it. In and out of ER and is on medications. I know you're not a psychologist. Sure I am. I always tell this story, Carmel, that I took enough psychology in university just to be dangerous, okay? I learned some things, though, okay? I learned some things. But you're right, I'm not a psychologist, okay? But I've been around the sun a lot of times, and I've been around, I got a lot of experience and practice. I saw a lot of borderline personality disorder. You know what, let me tell you what I think, okay? Because even though I'm not a psychologist, I think these young people are canaries in the coal mine. They have a weakness. We all have weaknesses, by the way, okay? We're fallen, okay? And we have, all of us have weaknesses. Some of it, like in my family, is for diabetes. I not only look like my dad, I was built like my dad, and so genetically there's there's a weakness there. But can you override that weakness? Well, that's what I talk about all the time, is that you can override your genetics, okay, by taking care of yourself. Now, these canary in the coal mine, I believe, okay, this is me with the personality disorder and ADD and ADHD and even autism that we talked about this week because it was in the news, okay? There's a fragility there. And we live in a different world today, okay? Was there always personality disorders? Well, I guarantee it. Okay? I guarantee it. But today, there's much more. There's much more autism. Like, it's not even close. There's much more ADD and ADHD. And some people will scream at me because they'll say, well, it's just because we're better at diagnosing things. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are for sure. But, come on. 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 18 kids are born with autism today? Come on. You know what I mean? Like, take your head out of the sand if you believe that. That it's just, we just couldn't diagnose it before. Listen, I've been around for a long time, and I tell you, well, I'll tell you what I saw in autism when I was in practice in the 70s. I didn't see it. And if I did, I missed it. It wasn't even written in my medical books. But today, anyway, so we have these conditions. Are we better at diagnosing them? No doubt about that. So you got a personality, but I still think it's brain, it's chemistry up there. And I still believe these kids are canaries in the coal mine. Leaky gut, leaky brain, 1. Fungus in the brain, 2. Sugar affects them, you would not believe. 3. Okay? Because it's like a diabetes of the brain. You know, you can get, like a lot of people are diabetics without even knowing it. Their brain is swimming in the wrong fuel. It's like you're swimming in the Atlantic Ocean. Do you drink the water? Of course not. You can't drink that water. And a lot because of glucose and the way they have the weakness and the sugar gets past the blood-brain barrier and they're swimming in the wrong fuel. I would send that child, 18, they're an adult, if you can get them to conform, because it's not easy, on a ketotic, burn ketones, burn fat as fuel instead of carbs as fuel, sugars as fuel, probiotic, high DHA. Listen, I got great results. Did I cure anything? Nah, I'm not God. But amazing. But the biggest thing I used to tell, depression, anxiety. Depression isn't a lack of Prozac. Like meds are Band-Aids. SSRIs, they're Band-Aids. They don't fix the problem. I'm not saying you don't use them. I'm just telling you that they don't fix it. So you have to have, in my opinion, a holistic approach to this. And unfortunately, in medicine today, they got such blinders on. So you get doctors and all they want to do is sedate. And never get to the root issue. They don't talk about diet. They don't know anything about the diet. And they don't think diet's important. I do. They don't think the gut is important. I do. I do. Okay. I get a little excited, okay? So I had that child on, 18, not a child. If they would do it, diet, reset, high DHA, probiotic, Navitol because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. And I mean, they're, in my opinion, again, if they were tested, they probably are full of heavy metals being transported by candida fungus. Okay, that's me, the Trojan horse. And some people, it's in the brain. We talked about earlier in the joints, leaky gut, leaky brain, leaky gut, leaky joints. We talked about rheumatoid arthritis. I tell you, Hippocrates said it 2,000 years ago that the root of all disease is in the gut. Holy moly. What did Hippocrates know that medicine still doesn't know today? I hate to be negative. I was the Lone Ranger for a long time. Now we're getting more and more people on board. Okay, I better leave it at that. Yep, okay, so we got to do a show. And it ain't, folks, let me just tell you, it's not going to be Monday. I'm off Monday. I'm traveling. Okay? I'm traveling. Going to a conference. Lord willing. But we'll do our program the rest of the week from a different location. Okay? So, reminder of that. Okay? And we'll post that too. So I'm traveling Monday. Okay? Leaving on a jet plane. Okay. Okay. We love you guys. A lot. A lot. Okay? Thanks for putting up with me. I appreciate it. We enjoy Q&A Fridays. We really do. Okay? Sometimes I go on little tangents, but you guys know me, okay? I hope you do. Okay, we love you dearly and sincerely, and we'll talk to you soon.